Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are here with our Sagittarius spacecraft we launched in the short movie I've created, and now it's time to do some spaceflight operations with it, because I like to raise its periapsis and its apoapsis so that we have a circularized orbit around Kerbin in an altitude of 200 kilometers, and there it can orbit around Kerbin for quite a while. And we can do some observations, or we can do some long time space endurance flights or something like this. So let me just approach back my spacecraft and grab. Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's climb back in and board. Okay, good job guys, good job. And now we are back in our spacecraft. And here, as I said, I like to raise my periapsis and my apoapsis to 200 kilometers, and the only thing we have or we can do is using RCS. And in this case, let me just switch over to the orbital map. We can see our Kerbin periapsis is at 128 kilometers and the Kerbin apoapsis at 143 kilometers. So okay, let me just enable RCS and let's do some burn so that we can raise it by using our RCS to bring our apoapsis at first to 200 kilometers. Then we have to do half an orbit around Kerbin, and there we can then do our second burn with the RCS to finally circularize our orbit. Okay, what have we done so far? Let me see. 193, just a tiny bit more, 100 and 200. Well done, well done. And in 70 minutes we will arrive there, and then we will do our second burn so that we can circularize our orbit. And yeah, this is what's going to happen in 17 minutes. So yeah, let me just fast forward and bring you back in once we are doing this. Okay, we are back, and as you can see, I'm raising now the periapsis to 200 kilometers, and come on, there we go, there we go. We have a Kerbin apoapsis of 201 kilometer and a Kerbin periapsis of 200 kilometers. So we have achieved our goal. We are now in a circularized orbit around Kerbin and 200 kilometers of altitude. And let's have a view out of the window, and the sun has risen again. This is a beautiful view. This is really a beautiful view, as we can see the sun rising above Kerbin. Okay, let's have a short outside view and zoom in a bit. Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's have a short EVA again to inspect our spacecraft if everything is in good shape and nothing is damaged. So let me just explore a little bit my spacecraft, and we are floating around the spacecraft, and yeah, I think everything is in good shape with my spacecraft, everything is in order, and we now can start to do our long duration flight in 200 kilometers of altitude around Kerbin and gather some signs for some more long duration flights. And yeah, this is what we are now gonna do, and now it's time to move on to more exciting things, because we now want to move on to go back to the launch pad, where we want to launch something in preparation for the upcoming asteroid redirect mission, which will happen very soon, because the asteroid is getting closer and closer to us. And in this case, yeah, let me head back to the launch pad, where we can have a nice and hopefully good launch. Okay, here we are again, and we are now on the launch pad with this very tall rocket, and this very tall rocket has no cosmonaut on board because it's just a robotic mission, and this mission will deliver some fuel up into space to one of our driving sections we have left over from the interplanetary missions, because I like to use one of these driving sections for the asteroid redirect mission, so that I have a nuclear rocket engine which is very efficient, and I like to dock to it with my redirect mission, manned mission. And to do so, or before I can really do this, I need to refuel it because it's pretty much low out of fuel. And this is what we want to do now. So in this case, the launch in 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Here we go. Here we go. It's very slow. It's very... it needs some time to speed up at the beginning, but later on it will really speed up. And here you can see one very nice thing, because after I done the quick movie or the short movie, I am now well prepared, and I now am using some kind of self-built fairings. I really like them, and this was also why I created this little short movie, because I wanted to have something to introduce you to my self-built fairings I've created from the stock parts of Kerbal Space Program, and now I'm using them again, and I will try to use my custom-built fairings for every rocket launch I can do. The only problem is I can't really use it with the asteroid redirect mission, because the advanced grabbing unit doesn't allow me to place something on top of it, so it's pretty hard to use there a fairing, so I don't think that I'm able to use a fairing there. But for all the other rocket missions where I can add some kind of fairing, I like to use it, because I really think it adds some more feeling, or some more realistic view to the space program. And in this case, I like to use my self-built fairings. And now we have to throttle up completely, although we are using the most powerful engine in Kerbal Space Program currently available. Okay, now I need to throttle back down a bit, because we are now a bit too fast, because we are launching some fuel into space, and fuel missions are always pretty heavy. And in this case, I need to use the very powerful engine, and I need to throttle it way up to be able to launch something into space. And this is what we are gonna do right now. So we are aiming. I've already set my driving section as my target, so we can already prepare for this, or we can already prepare for our docking and rendezvous. And now it's up to us to at first achieve an orbit and bring our fuel into orbit before we can bring it over into the driving section. And so I hope I haven't talked about this in the premiere episode, as I premiered my short movie, that I created this fairing. I hope you have noticed this fairing, and I hope you like this idea, or you like my custom built fairing. And now it's time to ditch the stage. Goodbye stage, and let's throttle a little bit down and ignite the second stage. And let's throttle up. Okay, I think this is a good throttle, maybe a little bit less. We need to see. Okay, so now we are on our next stage, and it's time to do even more of a gravity turn. And we need to raise our trajectory up to, let's see, up to 145 kilometers, so we have to go a little bit more. And so I hope you like this idea of custom built fairings. I personally like them, and it's looking more realistic to me when I'm launching something like this. And so we are now aiming for space at first. Let me see. 78, 79, looking good, looking good. Okay, and driving section. Let's see, I think we are quite ahead of it. So we are quite ahead of it. So we need to bring our... Oh, can we have already a rendezvous? No. This will be pretty bad if I raise it too high. So I will raise it to maybe 170 kilometers. 170 kilometers, like here. And then I will adjust to it once we are reaching the apoapsis in 5 minutes. So let me just add a maneuver node. Very nice, very nice. Okay, now it's time for the fairing separation. Let's do this. Where we are looking for the best use of it. Maybe this way. Yeah, there goes fairing. Goodbye fairing. And now we can see the docking port. The docking port was covered by the fairing. And next up is in 4 minutes. So let me just do a quick time warp so that we can reach our apoapsis. And stop right now, because we need to bring this whole thing around. And it's very slow in motion. So come on. turn around. Come, turn around. And... very good, very good. Okay, let's start. Or let's say at first goodbye to our maneuver node. Let's throttle up. And I need to make sure that I cut the engine before I insert my launch stage into orbit, and I can't bring it back down, or I need to launch another space debris redirect mission. Okay, this is good. Now let's finish the stage. Goodbye stage. And let's ignite the last stage. And let's see, we are getting very closer to this. Let's throttle up. Maybe we can already... oh no, I don't think so that we are able to. Or can we? Maybe around here? Can we have a rendezvous at some point already? This would be amazing. Let me see. Throttle up. And... not quite. But maybe if I am in 8 minutes and I'm reducing a bit my speed over there, can I then already achieve a rendezvous? Not quite. And what do I need to do? A bit... okay, over there on this... oh no. Can we get this a little bit earlier? So, no, I don't think so. Oh, over there. 3.1 kilometers, this is good enough. So, yeah, this is really good enough. So, and we have also an ascending node by some degrees, so maybe I should fix this at first. Let me just add a maneuver node over here. So, I need to bring it down just a tiny bit. Okay, this is our very first burn. We will have 9 minutes. So let me just look for the maneuver node. And where is it? Over here. Oh, don't overshoot. Oh, this thing is so slow because there's so much fuel in it. And it's so hard to control. Oh, and I remember one additional thing, because we are using so much of our electric charge, that I should deploy my solar panels. Okay, what will now happen is the usual thing. I will prepare my rendezvous, and I think, because you already know this, but you seem to like, or at least in one of my coffee break I asked, and you like the time warp. I will do this in time warp manner, so you can follow this, or you can follow the whole rendezvous process, or in time warp, and I will try my very best to speed things up. So yeah, stay tuned and enjoy! Okay, we are back in the sunlight, and yeah, now it's time to do the actual docking after we've achieved our rendezvous. So let me at first kill again all of our relative velocity we have towards our our driving section. Okay, and now it's time to aim for the driving section to be able to dock to it. And let's see. We need to at first approach the driving section to get a bit closer to it. So maybe over here. Very good. Let's enable RCS and let's speed up a bit so that we can float towards it. Okay, 1 meter per second is good enough. And we are only 60 meters away from it, so it should be very quick to arrive at our driving section. So we can do the docking and then we can do the refueling process. And here, let's see. So, only 40 meters away. And 30 meters. Getting closer. And I'm excited. I am not quite sure how much fuel is left in this driving section. And it's a driving section coming back from Duner. And I'm pretty much excited to see how much fuel there was left. I think there wasn't so much fuel left, I guess. So it's quite useful that we bring up some fuel. Okay, let's stop. Oh, crap. I'm not in the docking mode. Okay, let's stop. Let's come to a stop. And stop. Very good. Let's say set as target for our docking approach. And let's turn towards it. Like here. Okay. Now let's enable RCS again and let's start floating and driving towards it so that we can have our docking. Come on. Only a few meters. And then we can start refueling the thing and make hopefully a good use for our asteroid redirect mission, because I think we need a lot of fuel to get the thing captured by Kerbin. I'm not quite sure how heavy or how much of a burn we will need to get the thing stopped so that it's captured by Kerbin. But we will find out once the asteroid is in Kerbin's sphere of influence, and we can start doing our approach to it. And there we have it. We have our... And docking confirmed. Amazing. And how much fuel is left? Oh, half of the tank is full. Oh, I thought there wasn't so much fuel in it. Okay, so let's refuel the thing. And then I think I will let my refueling stage being in orbit or remain in orbit, so maybe I can use it for other things, and I like to keep it docked at first to the driving section, because I have to launch my manned mission to dock to it, and I think the manned mission will also need some fuel so that it can be refueled right away, and then we will see how much fuel is left in the refueling rocket up here. But I think the refueling stage has so much fuel in it that I should remain this in orbit for future purposes. I think it would be a good idea. Okay, next up is the launch for my manned mission, so that they can be ready to go once the asteroid arrives there. And yeah, I think we need to wait half an orbit until the whole combination of our refueling mission arrives back at the launch pad. So yeah, let me do this. Let me do a quick forward, and then I will bring you back in at the launch pad when we do our launch. So as usual, stay tuned. Okay, here we are again on the launch pad, this time with Durdo, Sidram and Bering Kerman. Our Dunar constellation crew is back again, and they will now be responsible to capture an asteroid, which will arrive in the sphere of influence of Kerbin pretty soon. And now it's up to them to fly it first up to the driving section, so let me throttle up a bit. And here we have the launch in 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Okay, here we go. And it's a little bit a lighter configuration of our launch stage compared to the fuel delivery mission, because this time we don't have so much fuel on board, so we don't have so much weight, and we can do it a little bit easier, so we don't need the solid rocket boosters. And here in this case it's a pretty easy launch. And now our Duna crew is heading back up into space again. And as you can see, unfortunately, because of the advanced grabbing unit, I haven't found any solution how to add the fairing to it, which is pretty sad. But, well, all the other missions will hopefully feature a fairing again, so this time we have our launch without fairing, but I think it will still work out very well. And yeah, so we are now going up to space, and I will talk about the configuration of this redirect mission later on, once we have captured an asteroid, or once we are aiming for an asteroid. This time it's only about getting everything ready and everything set up if the asteroid arrives, so that we can fly away from Kerbin and do the rendezvous with the asteroid right away. And yeah, now it's time to fly up into space, and I think because it's a usual space launch and a usual rendezvous procedure, I will just now do another time lapse and bring you back in once we are short before the rendezvous. So yeah, have fun and enjoy the ride. And we are back with the sunrise, and we are now 104 meters away from the driving section and the refuel stage, and I used a little bit of my fuel from my rocket, and in this case I like to switch over to the other rocket, to the driving section, and I want to undock, and I want to use my refueling stage so that I can set the docking port of my... Okay, I need to be a little bit carefully. Let me at first float back a bit from the driving section. Okay, much better. So I'm not destroying my solar panels if I turn around and I run into it. Okay, and now let's switch over to the docking mode, and let's aim for the vector towards our docking port over here, so we can refuel it right away. And now let's increase our speed and make a flight over the last 100 meters so that we can refuel our redirector 500. It's a 500 version. I have created 3 redirectors. The first one was only to do the space hybridi orbit thing in Kerbin's orbit, and it had no docking port. It had a normal rocket engine. Then I have created a redirector 1000. This one is for going up to the moon, because we have some space debris around the moon and I like to deorbit it as well. And there we have some changes to it. And the last one is this one, the Redirector 500, and the 500 version has a docking port on the bottom of it so that it can dock to a driving section and can fly up to the asteroid and hopefully capture the asteroid and bring it into a stable orbit around Kerbin. And maybe we can also bring it in an orbit around the moon, which would be pretty interesting, and I hope I'm able to do this. So, but at first we need to refuel it a bit. So now I think I should start slowing my refueling spacecraft a bit down. And then we can have the next docking in this episode to refuel it. So come on, only 22 meters away from it. And I think I should slow down a bit more. Come on. And where's the other spacecraft? The driving section is up there. It's waiting for us. And only a few meters are left. And then we can have our docking. Okay, let's slow down even more. Only a few meters away from it. And just in case, switch off RCS and SAS so they won't interfere with the docking process or with the work of the docking ports. And a few centimeters. And we have contact. And now let's align the spacecraft, hopefully. And yes, we are docked to it. And now I like to use a bit of its fuel to refuel my spacecraft. Very nice. Have I used any of my RCS? No, I haven't. Okay, so much about this. Let's do a quick save to celebrate this. Durdo, Sidram and Bearing are happy. And now let's undock again. And now we need to... Come on, can I? Yes, docking port. Let's set the docking port as our target. And enable SAS, or RCS. And let's drift a bit away from the driving section. And now we need to turn the spacecraft around a bit so that we can at first float away from the driving section so that we are not running into it. Let's speed up a bit. Okay, very good. Now we are drifting away. Let's kill again all of our relative velocity. And brake. Okay, very nice. And now let's turn towards our driving section. And let's start floating towards it again. Like this. Goodbye, fuel stage. It was nice to meet you. It was nice that you have refueled us. And I have done this because I like to have as much fuel as possible up in space and up in high orbit around Kerbin when we have the rendezvous with the asteroid, because I'm not quite sure how much fuel I will need to slow this thing down. And in this case, I think it's much better to have more fuel than having not enough fuel and having the problem that we will then leave together with the asteroid Kerbin's sphere of influence and won't be able to return back, and this would be really problematic for our Kerbonauts. And in this case, I like to have more fuel than I need. And now I think we are getting quite close. Oh, I can switch on the lights. Yes, I have also lights to it, so I can shed some light on the asteroid once we are there. And now it's again time to kill all of our relative velocity. And like this. Okay, now I need to control from here. And let's turn the whole thing around, because we need to dock with our bottom docking port to the driving section. And let's speed up again. Okay, we are not well aligned with it, so let me just kill again all of our relative velocity. Then we need to drift a little bit in this direction over there. Okay, let's speed up a bit, getting well aligned with the driving section. like this. And let's kill again all of the relative velocity. Turn the spacecraft around. And let's move toward the driving section. This time everything looks very good. This time everything looks shiny and amazing. And let's slow down. Only a few meters. Come on, we can do this. And switch off RCS and SAS. Switch off the lights because we don't need it currently. And we have contact. Now let's align with the spacecraft. And well done, well done. Let's enable SAS again, and we have assembled our asteroid redirect mission. Everything is set up. The only thing we now need to do is shut down our tiny engines because we won't need them. We only need them when we want to return back to Kerbin surface once we have captured the asteroid. And switch off the last one. Very nice, very nice. So our spacecraft is well fueled, everything is set up, and we only need to wait for the asteroid. And yeah, I think we want to go now back to the space center and have a short view how far we are away from the asteroid. So let me see this. Okay, here we are, and let's head over to the mission control and let's see what is going on. Okay, we have Sagittarius. We have the driving section, E2. Oh, I need to bring this thing to a circular orbit because currently it has a very high or a very strange orbit currently going on, so this is not very friendly if I like to refuel it. And here we have these both spacecraft orbiting around, and I think I need to, or I should, adjust a little bit the orbit of the refueling spacecraft, but I wanted now to find out a little bit more about our asteroid GWD 694, and it is currently still 11 days out of Kerbin, so I think next up will be our flight up to the moon to resolve the space debris problem around the moon. And yeah, this will be the next episode, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this, and I hope you will be joining me in the next episode when we are doing our moon flight. Until then, my name is Sebi. See you!